Hey guys, it's Miguel from Stage Racing again. Welcome back. I know it's been a while. I apologize for that. I suck. But good news is, Yo Blueberry's here. So today's episode, I want to talk about some of the Aero stuff that I did to it and how it's been effective as far as the track days. I had a couple track days underneath my belt already, and it is incredible. There's a lot of my really good friends. One of my really good friends that owns a 911 Carrera, really fast car. He was surprised that on the streets, me and him were just going back and forth with the car, the power, and the Aero. And it does spark, which is awesome. Like on my Instagram and stuff like that. Jake Miller, who is a neonite, he got some awesome pictures of Black Hawk Farm. But we are just scratching the surface. There's still so much more that we can do with the vehicle itself. But let's get started and let's talk about the Aero. Hey guys, so let's start with talking about the Aero for a second. I'm going to redo this from bumper in the off season. I don't think it's super efficient Aero-wise. I think next year we're going to try to cut it out from the turbo, the oil cooler, and power steering cooler. But this is kind of what I had with what I got at the original time. But there's still things that we're going to do to redo some of the stuff. So let's start with the splitter. So it's a 5-inch splitter from the bumper out. I'm going to redo another splitter, so put some like ducting from, if you see some like, they kind of look like louvers, right? Come out like this from this side. But this one's all flat bottom, 5 inches from the bumper, per the rules of Street Mod class and Grid Life that I haven't done yet, and the Street Mod class in Midwest Council that I do. This is just birch, and it's ½ inch. And it's beveled a little bit so that the top is flat and the bottom is beveled a little bit. And just doing research on it, you can set the rake as far as the angle of the splitter, how you want to set it at. Mine, you can go as aggressive for like 3, but mine is just, I'm still trying to learn the car mechanically, so I put it at the rake of 1 degree down. So if you're looking at your splitter, 1 degree down is like this much, and then you got 2s and 3s. But that's just so that when you're cutting through the air, you're kind of swimming out of the air, right? So I got 1 degree of rake. It is very low to the ground. Underneath here, these are all professional, awesome hardware. A lot of this stuff is back ordered now because I really do need to put 1 or 2 here because the bottom at high speeds, like going 115. It wants to get a little loose on the ends and on the middle, so it's just wood, right? So it's just kind of how can we stiffen it up? So I think this off season I'm going to redo a lot of this stuff, but I'm just seeing flaws, which is kind of nice because you get to fix the flaws. But this is a professional awesome rod, all professional awesome splitter rods. The quick disconnect down here, which is great. So all this stuff is just a matter of how I have it with the quick disconnect. It's got professional, awesome quick disconnect pulls. So I designed, so they don't give you this. You just kind of have to pull that. You have to kind of make your own cable. Once I pull this down, the entire splitter drops off after I disconnect it from the pins. And right here are the end plates. And both these end plates are actually the carbon fiber, obviously. And the end plates are from an IndyCar, used IndyCar parts that you can get online, which I thought was pretty cool because I'd already had some form of racing pedigree to them. And they're just carbon fiber riveted into the wood and make the wood as flat as possible. So you want the bottom of the wood to be as smooth as possible to, when you're driving, the air goes from here and then just kind of works its way underneath the car as smooth as easy as a transition, so there's not like turbulent air. It did rain on one event, and you can see the end how it kind of helped the air go through this way and kind of run over the fender, which was great. I used to have a carbon fiber tire plates, blockers, or whatever you want to call them here, but I am running a bigger tire this year. It's a 225 50, so on turning, you can tell it was just like rubbed into the plane where it just kept trying to rip it off. So we're going to redo it anyway, so it's fine. So as far as the front end goes, it's a really simple but like super effective. I can notice it at high speeds, how it just like it stables the car, where you feel the Aero, and even in corners, going 80 miles an hour, taking a pretty aggressive corner, you can feel the Aero kind of like settling the car, which I have to stepping up the front end, the front suspension a little bit with the dampeners. And then one thing that I didn't talk about just yet is, so these are like hood louvers that I made myself. No one makes racing louvers for the Neon. There is an option of me getting like an Evo 10 racing louver and redoing the carbon fiber hood. I don't know yet. It's kind of tchotchke as far as how I did the paint. I think if I paint this again, like the plate itself, not the hood, but the plate itself, it'll look a lot better. So this kind of not only helps to get some of the heat out of the car while you're driving, it's also going to help create a little bit of downforce, and I'll explain how. Plus, keep in mind, I'm not Adrian Newey from Red Bull Racing F1. I'm just a Mexican dude that does a couple things research, and I listen, right? So this is just what's been working for me. It may not work for you, but this is just what's been working for me. Anyways, so when we're going at high speeds, this is kind of not the most efficient for Aero, but right here, Aero's gonna go through here. It's gonna flush itself out through the vents, and it's essentially gonna create the bubble of the hood. The pocket is gonna basically it's going to help lower the pressure from the hood to help the car get a little bit more grip as far as with the splitter, so they all kind of work together. I do have the carbon fiber headlight intake. I was very lucky to get this on eBay. I have not seen one ever again, but it was not cheap. I paid too much for that damn thing. But that is actually going into the intake to get some airflow in here to obviously cool the engine off itself. Because this car runs warm, like it runs hot. Just because it's a turbo, for one, it's not meant to go in this chassis for two. But we try to do everything I can efficiently. I've had no issues with it overheating as far as track days, but it does get warm. I mean, there was this last track that was really hot, and it does work. Everything is efficient as possible. I could have maybe brought this down a little bit more closer to where the radiator, because the radiator sits about right here. So I try to make it as close to the radiator so that the efficiency is there. And like I said, this is just my own R&D, right? So this is like, how can I better the car? The car is far off from being like, oh, it's ready. It is a full-blown time attack car. But I mean, it's just part of learning and progressing, and how can we do things better, So the hood we talked about the splitter. Like I said, it's a 1/2-inch birch. Everybody uses birch. You don't want to use you want something that's rigid. We talked about the splitters. We talked about the quick disconnect. My tow hook is right here, but I just didn't put it through. The car runs really well. It's tuned on the 85 now. Extremely efficient. A couple things I had to kind of battle with, some O2 sensor issues and some like other PCM issues, but essentially the car is an absolute monster, and still on stock turbo, by the way. And it goes like there's cars that I should not be keeping up with, and I am. So I'm very proud of that. So let's talk about the hood vents, or the fender vents, and explain what that does. All right, guys, these are called fender vents, fender louvers, whatever you want to call them. This is also from professional racing. What their general purpose is to get the air pocket from when you're driving for the fenders, to have an air pocket of air in here. Essentially, it's just evacuated out. Some people use them for cooling for their engine, but this doesn't connect so much with the engine, so there is no. Its initial purpose is not to cool the engine off more. It's just to create that air pocket and help escape the air that's here. Sometimes you do with like the track life stick, the fenders, where they basically, like a lot of the Honda guys do that. They cut it off in here. The fenders get pulled in, and it extracts the air from here instead of up here. But I have plans to do something with the fenders that's gonna be pretty cool, but I don't know just yet. So these have actually been the quality of them, and I made a video how to put them on. But now I'm kind of explaining what exactly they do, and they work really well. I don't know how efficient it's been, but I know that like you kind of want to run a rain day to see what it does. And on my rain day, my nephew was videotaping me, and you can see the water being rushed through here, the mist of it. So it is working. The process of it, you're creating turbulent air from the tire spinning and evacuated through the vents. It is working properly. So that also creates the air pocket that we want to get rid of from here, just like the hood. So it helps the efficiency of the car work together. From the splitter is basically the captain of the ship, and everything else is just trying to like work in place. And that's what the end plates, the fender vents, the hood louvers, they're all working in conjunction to help smooth everything off. This is I bought this specifically. This is from Johnny Boost in Florida. This is metal. The original ones from the 95 to 999 are plastic, or Plastic, if you remember that movie. These were the plastic actually kind of melts a little bit with the turbo, so I just got rid of that and I got this one. They're also, again, it's also helping with Aero because it is also releasing the air pressure from here. There is a space between the hood and the actual what do you call it, duct here that helps again extract some of the hot air out of there and just make it so that nothing is catching per se. So everything is working as efficiently as possible from the front end to just work itself out that way. I do want to say I was APR Performance, which they're tried and true. They came on board this year to help me with some sponsorship, which I really appreciate that. And I got there. This is APR Racing carbon fiber mirrors, which we made a video how. Did I make a video how to install them? I don't know if I did. I'll be honest with you, but these are like delete window plates for the neon, and these are the universal ones. They don't make a specific neon mirror because we're not cool enough, but essentially this is how it all works. The universal mirror put in here, it does help with some form of Aero to because remember the other ones are fat as shit, so this is kind of smothered down. The what you're looking at it now is not as, the view is smaller now, but if you're, it's not that bad. I don't recommend these for like street driving just because they are smaller, but like for track day stuff, autocross stuff, if you want to do some, also it's carbon fiber because you know what I like. But it is efficient. Its purpose is to be efficient for Aero. It's also lighter. I think this was like 2 pounds or whatever it was lighter than the original OEM one. So again, the front end is all working together. So let's take a look at the back end, and I'll show you the wing that is also APR. All right, guys. So we're gonna talk about the wing now. You think front wheel drive? What does you need a wing? It's basically to stable the back end a little bit, and for everything to work unison. This is not APR. I got this from Singular. I got this from the idea from my boy Mike V, not Mike B, Mike Valente. Let's just correct that. He runs the same one. He runs the same wing and the same end plate on his Evo 10, and this is a APR Racing GTC 3000. And it also got the gurney flap, the carbon fiber gurney flap that comes with it. The only thing I changed was the end plate because the end plates, they're a little about this big compared to the entire actual end plate. This does help tremendously with high speeds and because you're gonna get if you don't put the wing back on, you're gonna get so much front downforce because it's aggressive in the front. To the point where at high speed you're going to get like floaty rear end, which is very dangerous and not a good time. So by having the wing, having it with the wing mounted to the trunk right now, because we do want to do chassis mounted, it actually helps create the airflow here. It's also in the neutral position, so keep that in mind. It's not super aggressive to get high downforce in the rear. I don't want high downforce in the rear right now. Again, I'm still learning how to drive the front Aero. So again, the front Aero from here is going to come down here. It's very efficient how they made the wing. The quality is, I looked at Battle Aero. I looked at AJ Hartman. AJ Hartman makes some good stuff. I just didn't work for what I needed. I looked at Battle Aero, AJ Hartman, Redline Racing or 10 Lives Racing or something like that. And I just figured like this, for one, it's carbon fiber. You know what I like? For two, it's very light. With all the aero from last year when I weighed the car to this year, because last year I had no aero in it and I did a couple autocrosses, to this year, I only gained, my fat ass gained weight, but the car itself gains, with everything that I just pointed out, 30 pounds, 32 pounds, so it's not that bad. I know people can get really aggressive with the wing mounts, but I can't have dual elements for the racing class. I have to have a single element. And it's mounted to the trunk right now. It works, but it's not like you can still, there's still some form of play, right? So I want to chassis mount this so that there's zero play on it, and eventually we'll replace it with carbon fiber fiberglass. And by that point, this is metal. So if I do carbon fiber fiberglass, there's no way at high speed that this is gonna sustain the high speed pressure of the downforce it's gonna create. So these end plates do work really well. I just, when I talked to Singular about it, these are all specifically through not CAD, but they CFD. It's just basically a wind tunnel that they use, but it's digital, and it worked so that all the turbulent air comes out of here. And this is just another form of their version of the gurney flap. And the gurney flap is designed to create a small air pocket here in the back for it to, again, give you a little bit more high-speed stability and create a little bit more downforce. Obviously, if some of this doesn't sound like, too entertaining, I apologize. I just wanted to at least show the video what it's all about. And if there's stuff that I'm saying that's wrong that you guys can correct me, please do it. I'm not an aerodynamicist. I am just a dude with a dream, and I want to have, my goal is to have the fastest first gen time attack neon in the country, because I want to, Doug Wins has I would say the fastest SRT4 track time attack, SRT4. There's so many fast drag SRT4s that I don't want to put myself in that position, but I would love it for one day for this to be the fastest time attack first gen neon in the country. We'll see. This is just me talking out of my ass now. But aero wise, getting back to it, it's really simple but straight to the point. I really like the quality because the mounts here are carbon fiber. This entire thing is carbon fiber. The base is carbon fiber, but this is like billet aluminum right here. The actual mounts itself, these are all billet aluminum. But yeah, there's a lot of pictures on Instagram. There's a lot of pictures on everywhere about the car, so you can kind of get more of the wing. I had to keep the wing about the same height or a little bit lower than the actual roof of the car. You can't go any higher. And then I think this is a 65. I use the same specs as an Evo 10. So the thing is, when I talked to APR, I did the mounts. I think the Evo 10 mounts are like closer to here. So I just told them to bring the mounts in a little bit, and they can actually custom do that for you. You just got to get with their sales team on that. And this is a 65 inch long wing. And I know that Michael Baird ran, I think, close to the same wing, just not the end plates and the gurney, but he was really happy with it. But I'm really happy with the quality, how it's helped me out. High speed stability. At high speed, you feel a car planted, which it's still a learning curve to me. I don't think I've extracted all of the aero capabilities of a car just yet. There's so much for me to still learn the mechanical grip for one, and then the actual aero grip for two. So again, there's so much still to learn, but eventually we'll see what happens with more modifications to the aero. But I think right now this is what I have, and it's been really efficient for me. So again, if there's stuff that maybe I missed that you guys think would help me out, please add it to the comments. I don't know everything, so I still have to ask for questions because I just don't. So anything you guys think that would be like, hey, maybe try this, maybe try that, or it's this or it's that, just let me know, man. We're all here to help each other out. This is why I made the channel, not for ego tripping. It's just to help each other. What can we do if someone wants to build something similar to this? He can look back at my videos and say, okay, this dude can do that. I'm gonna just kind of lean into his stuff and then just add a little bit of different seasoning to mine. So that's it. So but that's what the car looks like. All right, boys and girls, that does it for our video. You don't need to see my face. You need to see this thing. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, we are doing my first solo Nationals SCCA event. Let me go over here because it's a little light. First solo SCCA event within a week to a couple of stage racing guys. And we're just going to have a ball. I'll try to record as much of that, do like a vlog of everything, and just make it like a bigger episode. I'm going to try. But I'm excited to see what I can compete with all like the national guys, because this is more of a track car, but I still want to just thrash on the autocross because I originally came from the autocross field. So I'm excited to see what this thing does. So hope you guys liked the video. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We're getting close to, we're over 500 now. So you guys keep sharing, keep showing me the love, because I really, truly appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are awesome. So I'll try to keep the content coming. I know that was a slope there, so I'll do my best to get you guys as much content. So, all right, guys, have a good one.